Hey guys, and welcome to another video from the Parrott Bros. Today we are going to be sort of preparing and cleaning up the rear subframe assembly for the Diff. I've stripped it all apart. I'll go over the individual parts in a moment, but basically what we're going to do is I'll show you the two methods in which we can sort of prepare this ready for painting, just to get it back to sort of its original quality. We're also going to be painting things that aren't painted previously, just to keep it all a bit uniform. So what I'll do is just unmount you and we'll go and have a look and go over the items. Right guys, so that's the main assembly for the Diff at the back, and what that is obviously this is the subframe here, and then we've got, this is the haldex holder attachment, and this is the brace that goes at the back between there. Also we've got the forearms, two of which are going to be replaced, but for this I'm just going to give them all a clean up and give them a paint, just so that it's all done. So should I need any spares, obviously we'll also check the condition of them when we're cleaning them, because they have been known to snap, so they may be beyond repairing, but we'll see. So yeah, so let's get stuck in. Right, what we're going to be using is this, which if you haven't seen one before is a sandblasting machine. What it does is you've got a nozzle here, this nozzle there, which sprays out fine sand, which then collects in the bottom, sieves off the crap, and then just comes back out in the sand. There you go, you can see some of the sand there. So you put the item in, close the door, and I'll try and get a video for you guys so you can see what it is that I'm doing, but I'm not sure how that's going to turn out, so let's see. Right, so there you have it guys, I've completed the haldex bracket. Now as you can see, it's 10 times better. There's no flaky rust, there's no bits of paint hanging off. It's all sort of back to its original uncoated, unprotected self. Now the reason I've left the bushings in is because, there's a couple of reasons. Is A, obviously if I pulled them out, it may be slightly rusty on the inside, but if I was to sandblast it, I may take some material away, which means the new one may not fit as well. And because these ones are going in the bin, it doesn't matter if I sort of take some of the rubber away, because now I'm going to push them out anyway, and I'll be left with a nice clean surface inside, which if there is a little bit of rust, I can just get a bit of paper and just rub my fingers around, get it nice and clean on the inside. So that's now ready for, we'll take the bushings out and then we'll give it a coat of paint. I'm now going to make a start on all the other bits. Hey guys, so quick update. So I've done most of them apart from two arms, which I will do the two arms. I just wanted to show you a comparison of what it's like before and after. I've managed to get 95% of the rust off the actual subframe itself, because there's quite a few little nooks and crannies. Once I pop the bushes out, I'll just finish that off where I can. But besides that, very happy. With the aluminium trim, this one, I blasted it from quite a distance away, because obviously it's aluminium, I didn't want to take away any material, so from a distance just loosens off any crud. Now let's zoom into the arms at the back, and you can see the difference there between the arms. What I will do though before I paint them is actually check what they're like inside, just to make sure there's no rust on the inside and they're not going to snap on me. But they look to be in really good condition, so I'll get the other two done, get them all checked, and then we'll start popping the bushes out. So yeah, there we go. Hey guys, so a quick update on the subframe. I've given it a few coats of paint. Now I've started off with this hammerite red oxide primer once I'd sandblasted it. So just one good coat of that all over, wait for it to dry, make sure you've covered everything. And then I've done two coats of the hammerite metal paint. I've gone for a hammered black because it gives you quite a nice sort of shimmery, sort of anthracite black kind of colour. Plus it's quite a hard wearing finish. So that's the rear subframe done. The what's it called? The haldex mount, and then two arms and the cross brace that goes between the back. So what I'll do now is I'll get the new bushes out and we'll get them assembled. So I just wanted to point out, to have the the bushes moved. I actually got them pressed out by a local garage. I don't have a press, so I couldn't do it myself, but I just gave them a drink and they popped them out for me. To be fair, if you had a vise, you could do it yourself. It is quite a pain in the butt. I mean, these ones I actually removed myself just by cutting the inner bush and then getting a hacksaw and just cutting the edge. Just make sure you don't score the edge of the actual mount itself, and then it just pushed out. So it's not too hard. You can do it yourself if you don't have a press, but it is a lot easier if you do have a press. So I'll just get the camera set up in a minute and I'll show you the new Strong Flex bushes getting put in. So looks great, doesn't it? Right, I'll be back to you in a second. Hey guys, so now we're set up. I thought I'd start with the easiest one first. So what I've done is just with a bit of cloth, emery cloth. Let me just get me, out. So with a bit of that, I've just given it a little score just on the inside, just to make sure it's nice and smooth and there's no paint or anything on there. So what we'll do is smear a little bit of grease, just with your finger with some gloves on, just on the inside to make it slightly easier to go in. They do push in reasonably easy anyway, so it's not too bad. One in each end, and then we'll drive the bolt through the metal sleeve through the centre, and then that'll be it. So what I'll do is I've got the hammer just in case it just needs a gentle tap. I can't see it needing too much. If not, we can always just pop it in the vise. Just make sure you cover this so it doesn't get damaged on insulation, but there's sort of a bit of a snug fit, so once it's in there we can just pop that in, tap it down, and then that should go. So I'll just try and get the camera set up in a better position so you can see this. This grease is disgusting, so make sure you wear gloves. Just a little bit on the inside of there. Put one in each end. Like I said, they do just push in reasonably easy, to be fair. It's only going to be the sleeve in the centre that might be a bit of a pain in the butt. So right, so now I've got a piece of cloth just to stop the edge of the bush getting damaged, and all I'm going to do is just gently wind this in, and it should just put the metal sleeve through the bush. It's just pushing the bush out the other side. Hopefully it will take it through. Right, so I've got those pushed in, that's done. It's pretty straightforward, literally just popped it in the vise with a bit of cloth either side of the vise just to stop it damaging the bush, and it went in without too much bother. Now these might be a bit more fiddly just because they'll slide in easy enough. That's not an issue, they'll go in there and in there. This is to hold the haldex, or the rear, what they call it, rear diff mount front bush. But yeah, so that's for there, and then obviously these inserts, which are quite beastly bits of kit, go on the inside. Now I'm going to have to try and work out how to get them to fit, and I'll come back to you once I've sussed out how to get them in, and then I'll show you getting them in as well. Okay, so this one isn't actually as tricky as I thought it was going to be, which is nice. What I would recommend is probably getting a soft handle screwdriver or something you can push through the centre of the hole. Find something short enough. And basically, if you just pop that in there, it does actually push in quite easy. So if you just push, might be a two-handed job. Get that set up there. And there we go. It's just pushed in into the hole there, nice. It probably needs a tiny bit more, but that's not an issue. Yeah, it does need a tiny bit more. Get something bigger like the handle of a screwdriver or something. A handle of a hammer, rubber end, and just give it a little tap. There we go. Magic. Look at that. Seated in there nicely. Nice and flush. And then all I've been doing is when I've finished, just with a dirty old cloth, is just give it a wipe round, remove any excess. And there you have it. We'll do the same the other side. A little bit more difficult because it doesn't sit straight, but we'll get past that. Right, so there you go. That is the rear diff mount, the front diff mount. there. Pretty straightforward, not too difficult. It was actually easier to get the new ones in than it was to get the old ones out, but there we go. So that's in our done pile. Yeah, and then we'll move on to the subframe itself. Right, so next we're on to the rear diff mount rear bush, which is the uprights on either side. And these ones are pretty much the same as the front diff mount, but they're just slightly shorter. The fitment's still the same, still has the insert which gets pushed in this way this time round. But I will just get it mocked up, greased up, and then I'll show you how it goes in. Right, so that's how they will seat when they're pushed in without the alloy inserts. All you do is literally these are quite a nice fit. They just push in like that. Now what we're going to have to do is probably lay the subframe. Let me get set up and I'll show you. Let's see how we're going to have to do it. So we'll probably have to lay the subframe like that, just so you can push down on it against the bench. You can see that. We go to the other side of the bench. So that's like that, because the insert has to go down into it like that. So I'll just put a tiny bit of grease on there, stop it squeaking. I'll wipe off the excess in a minute. And it should quite a snug fit, this one. Once it goes, there we go. Now these ones may require a bit more of a tap, but obviously rubber based hammer. There we go. And that's it home. We'll just give it a little wipe with our cloth. Clean up any excess. And there we go, all done. Right, so, let's lift this back up. So you can see there, still held in place nicely. And there we go. I'll just do the other side and then we'll move on. Hey guys, so right now we're on to the rear subframe bushes, all four. Now this is a two-part bush. Both bushes are exactly the same. And all they do is let's move this out a bit so you can see. One goes into the bottom, one goes into the top, or vice versa. And then there's a sleeve that goes through the centre. And then for mounting, once you're finished, there is actually two washers which just go top and bottom when you actually come to fit it on the car. Now I've actually made a little jig tool. So you need a 4-inch, I've used 10mm. Just because it's stronger, and a big square plate washer. And basically all I do is when I'm putting the sleeve in is you bolt that through with the sleeve, and all it does is it draws the sleeve in without letting the bushes move anywhere. So what I'll do is I'll quickly show you that now. Just put a bit of grease on everything. I gave up on gloves after I used about 6 pairs, so just wash my hands afterwards. It's a bit horrible, this stuff. It's almost like CV boot grease, but hey ho. Right, so literally just push them in there, and I'll just put a little bit on the inside just to make it slide in and out nice. Right, so let's show you the tool. So get the sleeve in, if you can, push it in a little bit. It will push a bit of the way anyway. And then literally just slide the bolt up, square plate top and bottom, and then unfortunately I've only got nylocks, so it is a little bit of a fight, but it works. Wrong side. And then literally, if you just watch, you'll see the sleeve disappearing into the bush, and the bush is staying where it's meant to be. And then when it gets tight, you know it's home. So there you go, that's tight. Let's undo that. That's getting closer to the camera. Right. Just keep the pressure on the bottom. Oh. There you have it. Perfect. Fitment straight away. Give you a visual on that. Should we wipe your hands? Right. There we go. There you go. Fitted there nice. I'll give it a little wipe. But yeah. There we have it. So I've done that one and this one. I'll do the other two and then I'll just give you a quick walk around of all of them done. And there you have it, guys. That is the finished product. All the bushes are in. It does need a little bit of a clean up, but it's all good, ready to go on the car. But yeah, it was actually really easy to get them back in again. Harder to get them out with a press or cutting them out. But once you've done that, literally, it's easy. They look great with a nice couple of coats of the paint. As you can see, look, see the shine on it. I mean, you'll never see it. It's kind of one of those. You make it look nice and then it will just get dirty. But yeah, no, I'm really happy. I'm looking forward to getting it on the car. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If there's anything you've done slightly differently that you think everyone else should know, please hit me up in the comments. I'd really appreciate that. We're all in it together. Hopefully this will keep my TT on the road for another 10 years. We've got a few other bits to do. I need to get some arms and some other bits and bobs. And then we'll have a big swap out. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed watching, guys. We've got loads of other videos in our playlist for the TT, different rebuild things, mods, etc. But yeah, stay tuned, there'll be plenty more coming. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this or found it helpful. It's another video from the Parrott Bros.